If you are trying to build business credit without personal guarantee, and you should, here are the steps I want you to follow right now. First things first, you need to form a company and get a bank account, a business bank account. See, the whole thing is that everything starts, if you're trying to shield yourself from personal guarantee, you got to differentiate your personal affairs from your business affairs, right? I'm talking about the way you spend money, the way you make money, the way you report about money, the way you pay taxes on money. Those should be totally separate. And the thing here is that when you are going to ask for business credit without personal guarantee, the lender is going to ask you first, they're going to ask you, how can you prove to us that you have segregated your personal affairs from your business's affairs? And that starts from you having a company. I'm talking about a legit company. Don't tell me that you have an LLC. You know, this kind of funny. You go to happy hours or you go to family reunions, and you have an uncle or a cousin who always has a story about, hey, listen, I have a company. I'm my own CEO. And when you start digging, you realize that it's just nothing. You know, they have nothing at all. Nothing is happening at all. They're just, lying to people. So my thing is, it's very important to form a legit company. I'm talking about an LLC, a corporation, an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLP, but it has to be a company. So what you do here is that you have to get your company. You need to open a business bank account. Now, before you do that, you got to have an EIN, because the bank is going to ask you to have your employer identification number. That's why you need to file it ASAP. As soon as you have your documents from the state, you have your articles of incorporation, articles of organization, or whatnot. When you get it from the state, you have to add that to other documents and apply for an EIN. Getting an EIN is very simple, okay? And so what you do here is, once you have your EIN, you have to go to your favorite bank. We advise our viewers to always start with the bank where you currently have an account. So, for instance, if you currently have a personal relationship with Chase or Wells Fargo, it's just a lot better to open a business bank account at the same bank. That way you can actually parlay the relationship you already have at the personal level. You can actually parlay that relationship into a business relationship, okay? And you also make sure that you establish a business phone number and a business address. And I've said this before, I don't care if you work from your backyard or you work from your basement. Make sure that you have a business address that is separate from your personal address. Okay. Nowadays you can have a virtual address, a virtual mailbox. You want to go with that. You want to go with a virtual mailbox, so that, again, you are trying to shield your personal affairs from anything related to the business. Okay. So this is really important. First thing first, I want you to form a company and get a bank account. The second thing I want you to do here is to open accounts with vendors that are reporting to credit reporting agencies. See, the whole thing is that you don't open accounts with any kind of vendors, because you want a vendor that asks you that doesn't ask you for a personal guarantee, and their reports at the same time to Dun & Bradstreet, to Experian, and to Equifax. Okay. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really wonderful to have you here. Okay, so the whole thing is, I want you to make sure that if you are trying to build business credit without personal guarantee, you want to seek specific vendors. Now, we have covered this on other shows. The thing is that having business credit with a net 30 account or a net 45 vendor is really critical, because, see, you can't just have it, because when lenders look at your business credit report, so your Dun & Bradstreet, your Paydesk report, or your Equifax report, business credit report, or your Experian business credit report, they look at a lot of things. They look at how often you make payments on your bills, but the lenders also pay attention to the diversity of credit products that you have, or that you currently have, or you have had in the past. So this is really important. Okay, so whether it is Granger or Uline or Quill or other smaller players that you want to reach out to, we do have a list of the top net 30 vendors that do not ask for a personal guarantee. So if you're interested in this topic, just let us know in the comment section below. We'll certainly send you the link to that video, and you'll be very happy to to avail yourself of the content there. Okay, so step number one, you need to form a company and get a bank account, including an address, a business address. Step number two, you need to open accounts with vendors that are reporting to credit reporting agencies, but also that do not ask you for a personal guarantee. So this is, as long as you have those two things, you are good to go. You can actually do more stuff. And one thing I want to say also is that always ask beforehand. You want to ask upfront. Do you report to credit reporting agencies? If yes, okay. If not, okay. One thing I also want you to do here is to take the opportunity right now to apply for business loans. Boss, the thing is that you are sitting here, you want to build business credit without personal guarantee. Okay. So you have formed the company, you have gotten your EIN, you do have your bank account, your business bank account, you do have your business address. This is really good. You are on a roll, boss. This is really good. And you have open accounts with net 30 vendors. This is good. Now we are going to go a little deeper. We are going to have we're going to add another layer of business credit to your files, right? So let's look for business loans. So what you want to do here is that if you are trying to avoid a personal guarantee in a business loan transaction, you have to apply using EIN only. We do have a long video about how to apply for business credit cards and business loans using EIN only. So I'm not going to deepen the conversation here. I just want to say that if you want to apply for a business credit program using EIN only, in other words, without personal guarantee, you need to put forward the fortes of your business. You need to actually tell the lender, you need to convince the lender that your business is strong enough, monetarily speaking, or has a monetary potential, so that the lender is going to look at your business only and not look at your personal assets. So how do you do that? Well, you have to start by having a business plan. And I'm not talking about a cheap ass business plan template that you actually download from the internet and you just customize to suit your brand or company. No, I'm talking about a real business plan that somebody has written, somebody has taken the time to write. All right. We have to stay away from those cheap ass templates. Never want to do that. Okay. So you got to have a business plan. You got to have financial projections. I mean, when we talk about projections, if you have an established business, that's fine. You don't need projections, but projections are pretty cool because they actually provide a prospective view of your business. See, any business, even established businesses, even publicly traded ones, they actually have projections. So what you do is you have your actual data, but you also have your projections. And if you want to boost your chances of being approved for a business loan without personal guarantee, what you do is you do what we call the magical trifecta. So you have historical data, you have current data, and you have future data. One thing you want to do also is to pay your bills on time. Okay, you want to pay all the bills and credit lines that you currently have. You want to pay on time. And this is going to help you a lot build business credit without personal guarantee, because what's going to happen here is that you are going to start establishing a pattern of reliability. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to build business credit without personal guarantee. Okay. And so if you want to build business credit without personal guarantee, you got to pay your bills and credit lines on time. And it's really important to do it because paying all vendors, lenders, and creditors on time, or better yet, early, is one of the most important ways to build and maintain your business credit scores, and also get into a position where you are building business credit without personal guarantee. So here are some tips to kind of help you out here. Okay, what you want to do here is you want to write down on a piece of paper all the bills that you have. Now, if you have a small operation, you can do things on a piece of paper. But if you have a large operation, let's say you have a mid-sized operation, you have a couple of staff members, you have 10 or 20 or even 30 staff members, then you get to a point where you have critical mass. Okay, critical mass meaning what? You have to start automating stuff. Okay, You want to prioritize your bills by importance. You want to set up reminders on a calendar app. So you have a lot of apps nowadays that will help you out in terms of automating your bill payment calendar. Okay, so things like Google Calendar. We have a Microsoft Outlook Calendar. So those apps will remind you faithfully when you have to pay your bills. Okay, and make sure you pay at least the minimum. You make at least the minimum payment. So for all your bills, okay. And if you have monetary bandwidth, if you have a lot of cash sitting there, if you have cash reserves, then try to pay all your bills in full or early. Early is kind of cool because whenever you pay your bills early, you are basically increasing your payday score. So you'll be above the 80, the so important 80 mark, okay? And you can even try to use a working capital loan also, and make sure that it has to always be with no PG. And don't forget to get a DUNS number though. I think I should have said that when I asked you to get the EIN, you should also apply for a DUNS number real quick to make sure that you are not only in compliance with the IRS, but you also are in Dun & Bradstreet's database. Okay, you got to be in that database. Very, very important. The next thing I want you to do here is to avoid there are some credit transactions that you should avoid when building business credit without personal guarantee. Okay, and now don't use predatory lenders. The thing is, I know when you need cash, you really have to you are tempted to get cash from anybody. Yes, but predatory lenders are not good. I'm not making a judgment on them as a class, as an economic class. I'm just saying, for you who are listening to me right now, if you are trying to build business credit without personal guarantee, do not use predatory lenders for 3 reasons. 3 reasons only. Number one, those lenders usually do not report your data to business credit bureaus. So you're not going to build credit by borrowing from them. Number two, their APRs, terms and conditions, are so crazily drastic that it's not really a good deal for you. Okay. And the third thing I want to say here is that some of those lenders, it's kind of hard to have maintain a relationship with them over the long run, because even though the application process might be a little easier, it's just a lot harder to have repeat business through them. Okay, so avoid predatory lenders, and don't pay with personal accounts and credit cards. Yeah, because see, the name of the game is what? The name of the game is to build business credit without personal guarantee. So if you're trying to build without personal guarantee, then you have to remove the personal guarantee aspect of things, right? So anytime you use personal accounts and credit cards, you are bringing back into the fold the personal guarantee aspect of things. Okay. And also try to avoid net 30 vendors that don't report to credit bureaus. As I said before, not all vendors will report your transactional data to a credit bureau. So you want to ask first. You want to ask the vendor, hey, listen, do you report to credit bureaus? And if they say yes, the second question is, do you require a personal guarantee? If the answers to those two questions are no, I mean, if the first one is yes and the second one is no, then this is a great proposition, right? A great offer. One thing I want to say here is that if you're trying to build business credit without personal guarantee, you need to monitor your business credit. Okay. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are talking about how to build business credit without personal guarantee. One thing I want to say here is that monitoring your business credit is important, not just because you are trying to see the progress you are making over time, but you also are trying to see whether or not there are some fraudulent transactions, there are some fraudulent items that are creeping into your credit report. Okay, so because think about it. I want you to close your eyes right now. Think about it. You have worked your ass up all the way to 85 or 90 on the payday score, spectrum, right? And you are so close to 100. and all of a sudden you have a fraudulent item, somebody who you've been a victim of identity theft, and something happens, and before you know it, your payday score went all the way back to, or went all the way to 50 or 45. Do you know how long it takes to go back from 45 all the way to 90? It's just crazy. You know, I mean, it could take years. The same way it took years for you to build your payday score and go all the way to 90. It will take years for you to actually climb back up if you were to fall. So this is why it is important to monitor your business credit. Okay, it has to be second nature. I mean, I don't care how busy you are. I really don't. I don't give a sh. I really don't give a sh. You have to do everything. You have to put everything in your power to make sure that you get the information that you need. Okay. And one thing I also want to say here is that when we talk about monitoring your credit, your business credit, just make sure that you have to sign up with all the three players, all the three major business credit bureaus. We're talking about Dun & Bradstreet. We're talking about Experian Business. We're talking about Equifax Business. Okay, those are really important. Those will help you, and you gotta really know what's really happening. And whenever you get it, and what you do is when you sign up with them, you want to order an initial business credit report. And what you want to do is that you want to check each credit reports thoroughly. You want to note any wrong information, and you want to dispute systematically and reflexively errors and inconsistencies. Okay, you want to make sure that you update your business information, things like phone number, address, website, and whatnot. And you want to check your reports regularly because you want to ensure what? You want to ensure accuracy. The thing I want to say here, but before closing to this conversation here, is that you have to make this a habit. It has to be part of your strategy to constantly build business credit without personal guarantee, but not only building, but also making sure that there's nothing else and nobody else who is going to have a detrimental effect on your hard work. Let me give you a few pro tips before we actually close to this conversation. If you are trying to build business credit without personal guarantee, and you need to have a series of tips in mind that will help you establish business credit faster without personal guarantee. Okay, the thing is, first thing first, make sure, and this is a big one, make sure that you are able to negotiate better terms. Negotiating better terms is so important. Okay, if you want to build a business credit without personal guarantee quickly, better terms. Well, but now better terms means maybe instead of net 30, you are able to get net 35 or net 45, because everybody believes that it has to be net 30 all the time. No, net 30 is just a standard. Okay, but we have seen it in this industry, a lot of net 45. Okay. Or you can negotiate also on the amount of credit that the vendor gives you. Okay, and you can do the same thing when it comes to business loans and business lines of credit. What I'm trying to say here is that you want to negotiate things like the APR on the transaction. You want to negotiate things like the repayment window. Okay, so those are important. And what we talk about also, so besides negotiating better, try to work with your lenders. Okay, your lender is your partner. Oh yeah. You know, don't put yourself in this sort of subordinate position and think, well, you know, they are on top because they're the lender and they were giving me money. They were doing me a favor, so they're giving me money. No. This is an equal to equal relationship, because you were bringing business to the lender and that they were giving you the funds. Okay, so you want to work with your lender. You want to open new accounts systematically. So the thing is that when we talk about opening new accounts, we're saying that anytime you want to buy something for your business, make sure that you do so through a net 30 accounts or through credit cards. It has to be a credit vehicle. This is how you can rack up business credit without personal guarantee. You know, you can rack up credits for your business credit, your business credit worthiness as soon as possible. Okay. And one thing I also want to say here is that besides negotiating better terms, working with your lender, and opening new accounts, you also have to look at your cash flows constantly, where you are in terms of cash flows. Okay. This has to be a constant situation that you need to monitor to make sure that you never run out of cash. You never run out of cash. here is a bonus for you. If you have been listening to me so far and you are still here, I want to give you a bonus here, okay? You know, the thing is, when we have a conversation about business credit in general, and people talk about, business credit without personal guarantee using EIN only, what are really the benefits? Because there are some benefits that you need to have. And because what I want to do is I want to encourage you to understand the importance of having business credit without personal guarantee. So if you have a great business credit, you are able to position your company for more favorable payment terms. So when you have new payment terms with vendors and with new vendors and suppliers, you will get better terms. Okay, you can reduce the number of times you will need to prepay for products or services purchased. You are able to get better interest rates and credit terms from lenders and banks and even credit unions. Okay, and so this is kind of cool. And one thing I want to say here is that do not forget what I said about having 2 or 3 things. If you're trying to apply for business credit without personal guarantee, a business plan is always important. Don't underestimate that. And the reason why I'm repeating this is because I know how important it is. I know how powerful it is. I know how potent it is. And I just want you to grasp right now the importance of that as well, and incorporate it in your calculus the next time you apply for business credit without personal guarantee. Okay, so you need to have you want to have a business plan. You want to have financial projections. We have said this before. You want to have your tax returns if possible. Okay, again, you are trying to paint a great picture of your business so that the lender will forget about your personal credit and will always focus all their attention now onto your business credit. Okay, and one thing I also want to say here is that when we talk, so besides the business plan, besides the financial projections, besides the tax returns, in most cases, your bank statements also play an important role. So some lenders will ask you to provide the last 3 bank statements so they can have a clear idea of what your financials are from a monetary perspective. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just having a quick talk with you about how to build business credit without personal guarantee. So here are the steps. Number 1, form a company and get a bank account. Number 2, open accounts with vendors, reporting to CRAs. Number 3, avoid certain practices when building business credit without personal guarantee. And I give you a few pro tips in terms of establishing business credit faster without personal guarantee. Thank you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.